after minicamp and after OTAs, we don't have any type of football until July. So I figured, hey, how about we project the 53-man roster here? Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And of course, we're projecting who's going to make the team. Subscribe if you want the Titans back. So hit that big red sub button if you're ready to see Cam Ward on the field. And also, got a little comment for you. Surprise candidate to make the roster. I get a little foreshadowing for you on the picture there, but let me know down in the comments section who you think is going to be a surprise candidate to make this Titans roster. I'll give you guys two notes before we get started. We have 91 players on Tennessee's roster right now. You have to get down all the way to 53 by August 26th. So if you do the math, and I did it for you, 38 players have to be cut before August 26th, before the regular season starts, to cut down to that 53-man roster. So how about let's get it started? Who's going to make the roster for the quarterbacks? Well, I think we know exactly who's going to be QB1 with Cam Ward, Will Levis at QB2. Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle are your two quarterbacks that probably don't make this roster. Let's be honest here. Right now, I have Will Levis in as the backup. Unless something happens where they possibly trade him and some team wants to trade him, that's your only way that he's not going to be on this roster. He's not getting cut. Now, Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle, those are your guys that aren't going to make the team. Now, you are going to have that emergency third quarterback that every single team has, and I think that will be Brandon Allen, and he'll be on the practice squad unless somebody gets hurt and needs to go in for that emergency third quarterback. So go in. There's your four quarterbacks. We all know Cam Ward's going to be number one. I don't think that's any doubt about it. And Will Levis, serviceable, great backup for the Titans. Let's go to the running backs. You got Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, Julius Chestnut, Khalil Mullings, and Tyrone Davis-Price. Now, these are three. I think the Titans keep four running backs on the roster, and these are my four. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears. I think Julius Chestnut is going to be your special teams guy, so there's no way in hell he's getting cut. And then Khalil Mullings is going to be your third back. But I have Julius Chestnut in here as your running back, but he's mainly going to be your special team specialist. And then Tyrone Davis-Price, sorry to break it to you, brother, but you're out of here. There's not enough room for you on this roster. Then it goes to my most interesting one that I'm really, really looking forward to talking about, and that is the wide receivers. There is a ton on this list right now. And you have Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Van Jefferson, Alec Manor. And I think that the Titans keep seven people on the roster. And you see, you have your five on the left side, which are guaranteed locks. And then you have two on the right where I think that could be cut candidates, but could be not. Bryce Oliver, and I think Xavier Restrepo is going to be on this team. Treylon Burks, I have an asterisk on there. I'll get into that in a second. Jha'Quon Jackson and Colton Dowell, you guys are going to, unfortunately, get the cut. But I have that asterisk on there because I think Treylon Burks could go on the PUP list. He's coming off that injury, that season-ending injury from last season. And Brian Callahan said he's at about 80%, so I don't really know if he's going to be 100 once we get to training camp, once we get to the regular season. You put him on the PUP list, that gives you another spot to have on this roster, and it's going to be Restrepo. Because Cam Ward is the main reason that Restrepo is on this team. He's leading the entire team in catches throughout OTAs, throughout minicamp. There's chemistry between the two, and personally, they're good friends. I don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think that Cam Ward is going to let him get cut. And if he's on the practice squad, well, he's just going to sit there. I think he has too much talent to not be on this 53-man roster. So I'm going to ask you guys, pick one to make the team. Xavier Restrepo, Treylon Burks. Type XR for Restrepo or type TB for Treylon Burks. I'm going XR here. I think Xavier Restrepo makes the roster. Now, if you go on to, when we go to the tight ends, this is one where I was looking at some people's projections, and I was like, I don't think he's going to make the roster. I like Josh Whyle. And these are my three tight ends to make the roster in 2025. If you go back to last season, there were five tight ends to make the roster in 2024. And that just doesn't make any type of sense to me, especially when you only used two of them. So this year, they're going to go in with three people on the roster. Chig, Wiley, Gunnar Helm. Odukoya and David Martin Robinson. It was a little bit on the side of Wiley and Odukoya, as you probably need someone to block. But overall, I think it's going to be Chig, Wiley, and of course, your rookie tight end that you drafted to be the future of this franchise, and Gunnar Helm. Then we go to the offensive line. You have Dan Moore Jr., Peter Skoronski, Lloyd Cushenberry, Kevin Zeitler, and J.C. Latham. Now, if we go back to last year, this is a lot better. A lot better. 10 guys are going to make this roster because you got 5 people for starters, and then you have 5 people as your backups. On the left is your obvious starters. Kevin Zeitler, Lloyd Cushenberry, Peter Skoronski, J.C. Latham, Dan Moore Jr., Blake Hance, Corey Levin, Jackson Slater, Jalen Duncan. But there's one thing that could be questioned here. And when you have your outs, I was looking at this, and there's definitely one person on this roster that could make the team. And that's what I'll get into in a second. But Andrew Rupich, Oily, Odu, Chandler Brewer, Sam Mustipher, Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, your undrafted free agent, and then Brandon, I want to say it's Jaimez. But Lloyd Cushenberry, obviously coming off that torn Achilles. You don't know if he's going to be 100%, just like I talked about with Treylon Burks. Could he be ready week 1? Well, if he's not ready week 1, then you're going to obviously have someone else make this roster. This is what Jim Wyatt tweeted out. Don't want to put a timetable on it yet, but I'm on track. He's quoting Cushenberry. This summer is going to be huge for me. Getting back into football shape and ready to go, but I'll be back. He's feeling good and hopeful for week 1, but I'm not going to give it a guarantee. So the people who make the 53-man roster for your center, it's going to be a little different if Lloyd Cushenberry isn't ready for week 1. All right, we made it through the offense. It's a long, long video. But before we get into the defense, I got to tell you about your Cam Ward jerseys that are on sale now. You can get them in blue, you can get them in white, or you can get them in the throwbacks. Chatsports.com/Ward. You can get yours today. You know you want to rep the first round pick, the first overall pick. You're going to see a bunch of jerseys in Nissan Stadium, so get yours today. We'll have that in the comments and description of today's video. Once again, chatsports.com/Ward. I always love wearing jerseys, so get yours today. Going to the defensive tackles, the D-line. We're not going to put this all together in like your D-line and your edge rushers. No, we'll start with the interior and then go towards the outside. Got Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons as your 2. And then going into the backups, Sebastian Joseph-Day, Keandre Coburn, and Carlos Watkins. I have 5 people making this roster and then 5 people on their way out. Now, I'll say, these guys that are getting cut, I don't necessarily say they're not going to be on the roster. Like Cam Horsley, I think, has a great potential to make the practice squad. Same with Isaiah Rakes. Like, a lot of these guys could make the practice squad, but this is the 53-man roster. You have your guys on the inside, like Sebastian Joseph-Day. Jeffrey Simmons, he's coming in 20 pounds lighter. This defense is going to be a lot better than we saw back in 24. And then once you get Tavondre Sweat, Sebastian Joseph-Day on the team, that is what you're going to do. All of these guys, the outs, it was a lot hard to choose. But once you get into training camp, that's when you can put the pads on. That's when you're really going to see. Now we got my favorite position on the defense, the edges. And I still have Sebastian Joseph-Day on here. Draymond Jones, Femi Oladejo, and I think you keep 4. 4. Draymond Jones, Arden Key, Lorenzo Carter, Femi Oladejo. It was really hard for me not to put 5 on this, but I had to fit it into 53. So if you count all these up, you're going to get to 53 on the inside. Jaylen Harrell, Ali Gaye, Desmond Evans, and Titus Leo. Now, we only have 4, so that's 1 backup. I know some of these guys are going to get cut, but a lot of these are undrafted free agents. A lot of these are young players. I'd like to add a vet to this team. There's Jadeveon Clowney that's out there. I know we've experienced Jadeveon Clowney in Tennessee before, but you also had Za'Darius Smith on the roster. So I think that if you bring in a veteran to also be behind Draymond Jones, to teach Femi Oladejo, because it's a project, but go on Twitter, man. Go look at the pictures of him in a Titans jersey. He's jacked. It's awesome to see. Great draft pick for them. Now it's very interesting with the linebackers. And the one guy, and you see his picture right there at the inside linebacker too, and that's Otis Reese. And there's very good potential that he could possibly, I have him in. There's a possibility that he might be a cut candidate, and it's because he's injured. Curtis Jacobs also gets in, and then you have three guys, David Benda, who was your undrafted free agent, Anthony Orji, and then Amari Burney as your three guys that are out. But it all depends on Otis Reese's ankle injury. And it's just been a lingering one. And we don't know the severity. Like, he has not been in OTA or in minicamp. Wasn't really practicing. He showed up, but he hasn't been in there. And all of the coaches, they haven't really been talking about him much as what the future is like at the linebacker position. This is what Paul Kuharsky he tweeted out, just talking about Reese. And he said he's not really factored in what's going on for inside linebacker with the Titans. Ankle injury from the season has been lingering and bothering him. And if you have an injury from last year that's still bothering you, I mean, I know how that feels. I still got an ankle injury that I had a couple years ago that's still bothering me when I turn it a certain way, but I'm also not a professional athlete. If he's not ready, that is a big concern, and I could see a guy like Orji jumping up and making the roster if they also, like I talked about with Treylon Burks or even Louis Cushenberry, putting that on the PUP list so you miss the first few weeks of the regular season. Then we got, we're not done yet. We still have a bunch of people to go. We still got a bunch of depth charts to go. The cornerback, safeties, and the special teams. It's a long video, guys, but I want to give you all 53. So if you're still here, spam Real One in the comments. Go down right now. It's probably going to be an ad break. So type Real One if you're a real Titans fan and you're still here watching this video. Going into the cornerbacks, L'Jarius Sneed, please just be healthy. Please be healthy. You're going to make this team no matter what. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Roger McCreary. I have five cornerbacks making the roster. L'Jarius Sneed, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Roger McCreary, Darrell Baker Jr., and Marcus Harris. The guys that are going to be out, Gabe Judy Lally. That was a surprise one when I was like, yeah, it's probably Jalen Kibber, Davion Ross, Clarence Lewis, and Amani I can't even pronounce this. Oruwariye. Yeah, it takes me a minute to get these names. But the cornerback, you also need a little bit of depth on there. Because if L'Jarius Sneed isn't healthy, then you're going in with Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and Roger McCreary. And they're good players, but you need more than just two. Going into the safeties, clear, obvious two. Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods. And then one of my favorite picks throughout the draft. I have another one with this is five. Five safeties making the roster. Two guys going out. But my favorite guy that we picked, it's obviously Kevin Winston Jr., the man out of Penn State. If he's healthy, coming off an injury, that's why he fell so hard in the draft. If he is healthy, he's going to jump to that number. He's going to be the number one safety on this team. 110%. He has the potential. If you watch when he was healthy at Penn State, he was a ball hawk, so he could easily jump in there. And then Xavier Woods, you signed him, veteran guy. He's coming off a breakout year. Five guys are making this roster. There's still I had only Kendall Brooks and Mark Perry not making it. So I'm looking at a good secondary for the Tennessee Titans. And then the final one. There is nobody getting cut on the special teams because they only have one punter and one kicker and one long snapper on the team. Johnny Hecker, Joey Sly, like I have there, Julius Chestnut as your kick returner, Chimere Dike as your punt returner. It's a hard decision. Who's going to get cut from the special teams? Now they're all there. Who could be one player that you think could make the Titans roster? You saw every single player that I think is going to make the team after minicamp and who's not going to make the team. Go down in the comments right now. Type of player who you think is going to make this Titans roster. And also, while you're down there in the comments, go ahead, hit that big red sub button, subscribe to the channel because we're giving you Titans content all week long, every week throughout the off season. That's going to do it for today's episode. I'm your host, Brett Alper, and as always, tighten up.